Hello again, Regina.
Hello again, Tanya.
We were interrupted by the telephone, but you were telling us about how your brother, who would have been maybe 11 years
Yeah.
old,
Mhm.
how
11.
he went to boarding school. Tell us about that.
Well, they took I guess must have been the older boys, out and put them in hotels. Uh, in the countryside, this was by the Baltic Sea.
Yes.
There were a lot of hotels during normal times. People would go there and
Vacation.
enjoy the sea and be tourists. But during this time, there were not much tourist stuff going on, and they put the boys in there, and they went to school and got some, I mentioned that, sort of military training. And so on the weekends he would come, my mother would get him, and my mother said, and my mother she always felt guilty that he was not home with her. Even when she was old, she still was sad about that. Anyways, she said to us, so when he comes, Berthold, when he comes, I want you to play with him. So we had to play with him. And so the playing was often, this is just what I remember. It was probably not the same every time, but that's what got stuck in my memory. So we had very nice building blocks, and we built with these building blocks fortification. Everybody had one set, and the other had another set, and so we built, and then we would play war. So we would fire at each other, and the blocks would be flying. And of course, we were always losing. The younger ones were always losing. In the end, the blocks weren't just being thrown at the other fortification, but at us too. But I couldn't really complain to my mother. I never said I don't like this sort of playing. But that's what happens on Sunday. Yeah. My brother grew up to be a very nice man.
I'm glad to hear that, in spite of all his struggles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was that part of.
And tell me about you mentioned when you were living at the farm there was lots of food,
Yes.
and that your mother probably helped do in preparation.
Yes.
Do you remember what your favorite things to eat were, or what it was like in the garden?
In the garden, I remember when we played there, they had, at one time, had beans, climbing beans,
Yes.
and they were staked with poles like this, and in these poles, we played house.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And there was one boy who was also, I think he came from Berlin, but anyway, his mother and he was there. He was my age, and we played a lot together, and we decided to get married. When I told my mother, she said, I'm not so keen on him.
Pick another guy.
Yeah, but I think that's not so unusual for
They
children
just
to
play with
pretend.
the neighbor, whoever's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just trying to think what's remarkable. At one time, a plane was landed there. There was emergency. It was a small plane, but it was a German plane. And the other thing I remember, they had Polish workers.
Polish what?
Polish workers.
Workers?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, the German men were all fighting the Great War.
Right.
And being heroes. And so you need some other men to do the work on the farm. So they brought Polish
Men.
Men. I'm just trying, what would be the proper word for them? Anyway, they would, I can't remember where they slept or where they stayed, but they were there. And at one time, I remember that one of the men, the Polish workers, had run away. And I saw the farmer going with a gun on his shoulder into a certain direction to try to find the man, because you couldn't have a Polish worker just running around in the countryside. I don't know if he ever found him, but it was also a scary incident for me to see the man with the gun walking there. And I remember that I went to school and told the teacher about it, and said something not so nice what they should do to this Polish man who ran away, and how horrified she was about my saying so, which was actually very good. I couldn't understand why she was so horrified, because the Polish people weren't our friends. I was actually taught, or again learned by osmosis, that the Polish were lazy. The Polish people were lazy and dirty and all these negative things. And I was very surprised when I was later worked at Dalhousie. There came a Polish scientist to work there, and I had to do some work with him or for him or so, and he was so particular and so clean. It's very hard to meet his standards. So it was a complete opposite of what I thought the Polish people were like.
Mm-hmm.
But I think these were probably Polish people from the countryside. They would be different than those who were educated. Or
Yeah. And just like the two different farms in Germany that you stayed in.
Yes.
One was very primitive and one was nicer,
Yeah, that was the time when we didn't live in Stralsund. But then my mother moved back home and said, I want to be in my own home.
Yeah.
Never mind the bombs.
Take her chances.
Yeah.
And how old were you then?
Well, that was just before the war ended, so I was 9 then. This all was before 9. So I already went to school. We went to school when we were 6.
Mm-hmm.
We started school when we were 6, and so.
All the children were. Your younger sister would have been in school then too.
No, she was 5 years younger than I was.
Okay, but your mom. When the children get to school age, then the pressure is off the mother she has time during the day to do the things she needs to do.
Yeah, but she had to work very hard to feed us.
Is that so?
And so, yeah. So
what did she do?
She worked the garden.
Yeah.
And she had to saw all the logs, big wooden logs or tree trunks or so that we could heat our home.
So where was your father?
My father was in the war.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you know where he was? Or
Yeah, he was in Russia.
was he able to write to you? Or
Yes, he wrote a postcard every day to my mother.
Isn't that lovely?
She got a postcard every day, and they were numbered, so my mother could say, received
She knew that she received them.
number, so and so and so and so. My father, that's a different story. I don't know if
We could start a new section for your father. Let's do that.